All right, man. So younger slick Mickey in the building. Mickey says the Mount Rushmores of general managers is Mickey Loomis, Mickey Loomis, Mickey Loomis, and Mickey Loomis. All right.
Stop the cap.
Thank you, Mickey. All right, appreciate you, Mickey, for dropping some game on us about that, man. All right, thanks, Mickey. Oh man, okay, Mickey. Okay, man, you got it, brother. You got it. I'm gonna give you that, bro. You got it. All right. My dog says, who y'all got, Shockey or Graham for the best Saints tight end? I go with Graham, bro. You know, I got to go with Graham. I like Shockey, but I think Graham had more of an impact as the greatest Saint tight end there ever was. I like Jeremy Shockey a lot when he came over from the Giants, but I got to go with Graham on that one, brother. Good question, though. All right, yeah. That 30 plus. What is it, fam? How many? KT said, remember the Buffalo game? They ran 30 plus times. It was a stat, man, where you would get. Oh, is it 27? KT says 27. The Saints would, if they got 27 over 27 or more carries, they had some ridiculous record, like it was like 20 plus wins versus like one loss or something like that. When the Saints rush and get 27 carries or more a game, they got this ridiculous high ranking. All they had to do was run the ball and get to 27. So they understood the importance, and a lot of that was put together by Coach Payton. He was the one that ran the hell out of the ball and drafted the offensive line to keep his running intact so he can do what he got to do. All right, shout out to Mickey Loomis, man, for being in the building. That's a younger looking Mickey Loomis, man. That's a lot younger looking Mickey than what we seen. Old slick Mickey Loomis. All right, Hurricane Mike says Graham, but Shockey was underrated. Yeah, he was. I like Jeremy Shockey, man. Yeah, I liked his ferocity, man, what he brought to the team. I liked his side. They don't even talk about Shockey anymore in terms of some of the great tight ends. You know, some of them he gets kind of pushed over or forgotten about, man. Mont says Shockey caught a TD in the Super Bowl, helped us win the chip. Graham was a wide receiver playing tight end, and he was soft. Man wasn't soft, bro. He was good. Come on, man, dog. Shockey might have caught a touchdown in the Super Bowl to help you win. That's true. But we talking about over time. You know, Shockey was with the Saints, a couple years versus Graham was for a long time. And if you put the stats together, I think Graham beats him. But, you know, that's your opinion, bro. All right, YO says, Mickey Loomis better pray Gail Benson doesn't sell the team. All right, well, Gail don't have any suitors. Any children. And y'all remember a couple of years ago, she signed an agreement with the NFL. Like it's basically a will structure. Like if something happens to her, what happens with the team? You know, and there's this whole little thing set up where the team is attached to the Superdome and all this kind of stuff. And to be honest with you, the Saints and the Pelicans have a gravy train. That's why Gail got really serious on the Pelicans side to hire Joe Dumas to come in and turn the team around. She'd have done really great if she would just let him get rid of Willie Green, but she wants Willie to stay for another year. But outside of that, they're headed in the right direction because she wants a brand new stadium. She wants a new stadium. And in order for them to get that so they can bank out and go higher, they got to win because there's too much resistance on this end in terms of them not winning enough games. I don't see how you're going to get that without it. What's up, brother Lester? Who that to you, brother? Good to see you. All right. Chosen One says, yes, Jimmy Graham. Yeah, I agree, bro. It is definitely Jimmy Graham. Ryzen says Q Shockey gave his all. He did, bro. He did. I'm saying body of work, you know, not just body of work altogether, you know, years and dealing with this team, not what we seen with him do with the Giants. Because he did help the Giants get there. And I think he got hurt, you know, that year. He got hurt that year and couldn't play. They won a championship. And then the next year he came to New Orleans and they gave him the ring from that championship. Now he sold that ring. Did y'all know that? A little Jeremy Shockley story. He actually sold that ring. The Super Bowl ring he got from the Giants that, you know, I think it was the next year after that they won the championship when he was hurt. He helped them and then he got hurt. And then the next year he left and he signed with the Saints. I won't say how to play it out. And I remember him selling that ring. That ring had zero value to him. But he did help the Saints win a championship. That is true. All right. Yeah. He says you got to get better at you just got to win, bro. That's all you got to do. They're on the right path, just like the Saints are. They're on the right path. They got the right leadership in place now. They got accountability, innovation. They got somebody exciting to talk football with. And it's just an energy. Like you got this, it's a fresh, vibrant energy. Plus the fact the guy coming off a championship, I keep saying that. And the fact that he has the players, he knows he has the player. Before he took this job, remember, he took a long time to decide on whether or not he wanted to come here because he was taking time to do research on the team. What if I'm coming there, what do I need to work with? What do I need to do? And remember, early on, there was discussions about what he wanted to do because Derek Carr wasn't his quarterback. And we knew that because that came out that it was an issue there. So we're not going to forget like they smooshed it over and all that kind of stuff. If I draft a quarterback with a second round pick, that puts pressure on the guy that's there with the money to perform. Guy couldn't do it. So he has his guy and Spencer's there. And in time, based how fast Tyler is in picking up what he needs to pick up, we'll see how it all works. But it's all within his realm of control. He knew all he had to do is beef up that offensive line. He had Elvin Kamara, Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, bring a few people here or there. The defense, you've seen what Kellen Moore and Coach Staley did with the defense when they switched from the 43 to a 34 defense. They signed a bunch of players up until recently with Bullard. They signed a bunch of players. They're not playing. They're not taking any. They're not risking or not messing around, period, with stopping the run. They're not playing any games. The Saints have to stop the run this year. They can't afford to sit up there and let people run on them like we did last year. They have to stop the run. And that, man, they taking that really, really serious, right? KT says that Q, worst free agent signing, Carr to Bucky Jones. Oh, my God. I remember Carr to Bucky Jones, Browner, Jason David, or Jabbar. What's his name? Jabari. What's his name? Not Jabari. Jarius Bird. That's Derek Carr, bro. And it's simply Derek Carr because of the money. All these other guys, like, Jarius Bird just didn't get it. He had a few decent things here or there. Browner was a bad one for the Saints. Jason David made interceptions, but that was a curious signing because he was like 5'7". Why would you sign that guy? That was just a curious one as well. Bucky Jones was long gone. He wasn't to Bucky Jones. He was to Sucky Jones. He wasn't no good, man. He just didn't have the same energy. He just didn't have, he wasn't the same player. The system was different. It wasn't the same. But worst free agent, and I've said this before, it's definitely Derek Carr. But you got to put the money on that. That's the money eclipses all those other guys. And plus is at the most important position on your team, right? These other guys are defensive backs. All these guys the Saints made bad moves on. Even Marcus May, you could throw, that was another terrible contract. The Bucky Jones, Browner, Jason David, and Bird, all those guys are defensive backs. Even Marcus May, if you want to throw him in there. Defensive backs, but the quarterback position is the big position. I would have to vote. If you asked me to vote on that, it would definitely be the Carr acquisition. That was horrible. But it was cool because we were able to slide from up out of it, get some of that money back there, and that makes the future look bright going forward. So it worked out. We had to suffer for it a little bit, but it worked out. Yeah, 017 said they better stop the run. Yes, indeed. I agree. All right. Yeah, y'all hit the like button, man. Y'all in here chilling, man. We got a bunch of folks in here. Y'all do me a service and hit the like button, man, and the share button. If you're not in sub up Tacoma, we in this thing. Also, a little bit to talk about, man. Eli Apple signs with the Miami Dolphins. I got an alert. Eli Apple, Sour Apple, signed with the Miami Dolphins. So good luck to that brother out there. All right, Scoop says, how about James Laurinaitis? Nah, bro. He ain't even in my top 3 in terms of worst signings ever. I mean, he had no impact because he couldn't stay healthy. He had no impact at all. James Laurinaitis. He came over from the Rams. We thought he was going to be something, man. That guy could not stay healthy, man. His body was just so broken down, man. Old guy couldn't stay. Yeah. New Orleans says got to be Eli Apple. That man was trash. Eli Apple, even if you put Eli Apple in, I don't think he was worse than Browner or any of the other. You're talking about the best of the worst. That's kind of a crazy argument to have. Mont says, when I seen Jason David in person, I towered over him. He was like 5'9"ish. Yeah, he was small dude. Barefoot 5'10" with sneakers. I knew something wasn't right. Yeah, I don't understand why the Saints signed that, man. And he was supposed to be guarding these 6'3" wide receivers. I'm like, they think this dude is Spud Webb or something. He can jump 5 feet in the air and knock. I just didn't understand what they were doing with that. I didn't understand what was the crazy Saints back in the day. All right, King Eternal says, didn't Ricky Williams leave to get high on island? He did leave to get high on island. It was, what's up, Desi? There was a bad, it was just that whole Dicker thing. That's a whole nother subject, man. And him, that fool thought that All he needed was Ricky Williams. And I'm like, no, he didn't even have to do that. He had Edgerrin James in that draft. If they wouldn't have gotten Ricky Williams, they would have kept all those picks and had Edgerrin James as a running back. Imagine that, the fortunes of the Saints, man, how different things would have been if we wouldn't have gave up all that stuff for one player and you had Edgerrin James sitting there. He had a better career than Ricky Williams did with the Colts. Black Preacher Man says, salute Q. Shout out to you, my brother. Appreciate you. What about the worst draft picks? Oh, my God. Please, no. I don't know, brother. I don't know. We had some bad ones, man. Some pretty bad ones. Marcus Davenport's got to be up there. Kenny Vaccaro's got to be, even though Kenny Vaccaro played, he has some decent years playing, but he's like in the top 10 in terms of what he could have been. Drafted. What about Wesley Carroll, Alex Molden? It was a bunch. What's the guy play? Was the running back, man? Vaughn Dunbar. We can go back on that, bro. Some of the worst Saints draft picks ever, man. Sheesh. There's a bunch of them that we could talk about right there, man. I just threw a bunch of them at you just right quick, just straight off the dome, being a member of the Great Saint Think Tank. And we Saint historians, we had to go back, man. I remember some of them guys. It says, Q, tell Slick Mickey that Reverend Saint is looking for... he jumped in line at the Rosses. That's why he stopped going, KT. Remember, he told you he don't go there no more. He just gets his stuff ordered through the mailing service now. So he get his stuff door dashed or Walmart bring it to him. Last time you kicked that man basket over and all his clams ended up on the floor. He stopped going to that damn stuff. Yeah, he said he ordered it through Walmart now, bro. He don't even go down there no more. All right, Jack says any player that puts on a wedding. Oh, yeah. I remember that. That wasn't the worst part. That wasn't the worst part. Is that he had the wedding dress on, and then Mike Dicker standing up next to him with a tux. I'm like, what? And then when he drafted him, didn't Mike Dicker went and got a Rasta wig and put his head on? I know DC was highly offended at that. Mike Dicker got up there and put that Rasta wig on next to Ricky Williams, and Ricky Williams' face looked kind of strange. DC was highly pissed at that one. How dare you do that? All right, YO says Danny Waffle. Yeah, he was a 4th round selection. He was a runner-up. Didn't know Waffle won the Heisman that year. The Saints took him in the 4th round. I remember that. CJ Spiller. Oh, yeah, that just didn't work out. He was a free agent signing them. Yeah, Desi says she liked Kenny Vaccaro. All right, yeah. And Youngblood says, Q, I know it's early, but it looks like Saints linebacker will be Demario Davis, Pete Warner, Nephi Sewell, and Ricky Stutzman. All right. Well, I mean, you might have something there, my brother. I mean, we still got a little going in there, but yeah, if you look at it, man, let me see if I can get it down to the linebackers. But yeah, it's you got 4 of them. So you're going to have some depth behind them. We know the 4, Granderson, Davis, Werner, Young. Then you have Stutzman, Nephi Sewell, people like him. I don't understand why we got rid of Anthony Orji. I don't understand why we did that. We should have got rid of DeMarco Jackson, because Anthony Orji, in my opinion, was probably one of the most solid up-and-coming linebackers that we really liked a lot. I think Anthony Orji was solid, man. He played well on special teams when he got an opportunity to get in there and play. He was in there doing his thing. I thought his speed because he used to be a safety, a big safety that come out of Vanderbilt. He was smart. He had the brains. He knew how to tackle. He had closing speed. He was made perfectly for that 34 look. He didn't make it. Saints put him in the win. And I was like, why did they do that for DeMarco Jackson? Because of the draft status? Because Anthony was undrafted. Like, man, that to me, that was a very curious decision, because I would have put DeMarco Jackson in the street. He ain't showed me nothing. DeMarco made a few tackles, but his issue is coverage. He hadn't shown you he was a solid coverage linebacker. Like, he can go and make a tackle, stick his nose in there, but can he drop into coverage and cover tight ends? He hadn't showed me that. You got to have that ability. So, but anyway, guys behind him, according to the unofficial depth charts, Fadil Diggs, the 7th round draft pick the Saints picked up. Stutzman, Jalen Ford. They got Jonah Williams listed. Jacine Davis, DeMarco Jackson, Nephi Sewell, Isaiah Foskey's thrown in there as an outside guy. Stallbird, Tyreen Powell, and Chris Rumpf. some of the guys competing. So we'll see how it all plays, man. They got a lot of people here, to be honest with you, man. We'll see how it works again. All right. Yeah, that bam. Darwin, Jonathan Sullivan. Y'all remember that? So, and these are some of the worst. These guys were awful. I mean, simply terrible. Jonathan Sullivan, he was terrible. Saints made a hell of a wrong move by drafting that guy. Y'all remember Jonathan Sullivan? Who was the guy that left and went to, it wasn't Sullivan, it was another defensive tackle. Who was the other? Was it Cedric Ellis? Well, yeah, there you go. My dog got it. Jonathan Sullivan and Cedric Ellis. Y'all, man, these guys were horrible, man. They just guessed wrong on them, man. The scout department let us down on them, man. Or they just couldn't get the most out of them. That's a part of the coaching thing, right? Those guys were awful. Worst draft picks, Andrus Peat. But come on, KT. You know I got to stop you right there, bro. Right out the gate, bro. Andrus is worse than Marcus Davenport, Stephon Anthony, Robert Meacham, and Peyton Turner. That's the worst draft picks. Andrus Peat, what? See, that's KT, man. KT threw. How you put Andrus Peat in there, bro? With a guy like Davenport couldn't stay healthy and was just a total underperformer. Peyton Turner was the same way. Peyton Turner couldn't stay healthy either. They are by far worse than Andrus Peat. Andrus Peat's a guy that had multiple Pro Bowl appearances, played several positions for the Saints. He was a counted upon player when the Saints shifted. When Teron Armstead had issues at the left tackle position, they would literally move Andrus Peat from guard to play the tackle position, the blindside tackle position. They trusted Andrus Peat. Sean Payton trusted him. He wasn't the greatest offensive lineman we had, but Andrus Peat is by far better than any of these guys that you got listed here. Stephon Anthony, I think what happened with Stephon Anthony, he didn't get a good rep either because the first year Stephon Anthony played with the Saints, they were playing they were playing the 43 defense. And then they made a switch the second year. And I think that threw them off. No, was it the 34? I forgot which style of defense they were playing. I want to say it was it was in a 3-4, something like that, whatever happened. But the defensive switch kind of messed with him because that first year, the man was balling. I mean, he was balling. He took down Ricky Jackson's tackle record. You know what I'm saying? Nobody did. Who takes down Ricky Jackson's rookie tackle record? You don't hear any of these other guys doing. He did that in his first year. People forget about that. Then they had a switch where the Saints switched their defense and he kind of got lost in the mix. Confidence got affected. He never was the same. But Stephon Anthony was a beast coming out of Clemson. That first year, he was balling, calling the plays for the defense and everything. And when they made the switch, that's when it all went to hell. But I remember Stephon Anthony, bro. But you're wrong for that, KT. Putting that man Andrus Peat up there. That man actually, you're wrong for that, brother. You're wrong. He put him at the top of the list. See, KT knew that'll set me off. Nick Toon wasn't good either. Yeah, that was another. What's up, Professor? Rick Leonard. That's right. This dude was a defensive lineman that shifted to offensive tackle. And Sean Payton put his ass on the street the first year, I want to say. And I remember, matter of fact, I remember when I was on the plane, I was on vacation going to Texas. This was a long time ago. I told y'all about this way back in the day when it happened. And Rick Leonard was on the plane. And I sat there and talked to him on the plane. And I was like, man, what happened, man? What? He said, well, Sean, what he told me, he said, Sean told him something. I forgot what it was, what the man told me, but he was on the plane going to Texas and he told me that he had a tryout with the Houston Texans. And I asked him, man, what happened? And I forgot what he told me, man. This is a show I did some years ago when I remember Rick Leonard told me that. He told me, hey, man, he said, Sean has his guys or something like that. It's going to come to me. But I remember that. Antonio Pittman, y'all guys, the Great Saint Think Tank is, yeah. A Black Preacher Man said they started dropping them in pass coverage. Yes, indeed. All right. Antonio Pittman was another. Shout out to Professor, man. KT, here you go, KT. Says Pete come on, bro. It was a mass unit. If he was really good, we wouldn't have drafted Ramczyk Q. Stop it. No, come on. We knew what it was because Teron Armstead kept getting hurt. Come on, KT. We covered this. Teron Armstead kept getting hurt. When they drafted Ram, he played the right side, but they wanted Ram. I think he played like maybe one game at left tackle. It wasn't a lot before they settled Ram in at the right tackle position. The reason why Ram was brought in at the tackle position, and then Coach Payton kind of shifted Andrus Peat because remember when Pete first signed with the Saints, he was in Coach Payton's doghouse because he came in overweight, not overweight. He came in out of shape. That's what happened. He came in, because he had to finish his testing at college, which brought him to training camp late. And when he got to camp, he was out of shape. And that Coach Payton was pissed about that. Because I remember in interviews, he was talking about it. And he ran Andrus Peat through the gamut. He was supposed to play tackle, but, they shifted his position, but he made him an everything player. He played left tackle, right guard, and left guard. He played everything except for center. He never played guard ever in his career prior to Coach Payton getting him to cross-train those positions. But he was in Coach Payton's doghouse. And Coach Payton was hard on Andrus Peat, more so than anybody. He would move him over here, move him over there. And he was not pleased with Andrus Peat coming there like in that shape. And even Andrus Peat talked about that. But he didn't appreciate it at the time, but eventually he benefited from the cross-training. He was able to play left tackle, right tackle, and Coach Payton them trusted him because he played the blind side tackle position when Terron Armstead got hurt, and Terron Armstead was hurt a lot. Terron Armstead was always hurt, especially toward the back end of his career. Terron Armstead missed a boatload of games. I absolutely love Terron Armstead, but to keep it real, he missed a shitload of games later on in his career. He kept getting hurt. And Pete would have to step in at the left tackle position to fill in for him. That's what Sean Payton did. Then he moved him to guard. Then he played right guard. He played every position along the Saints offensive line except for center. That's what Andrew. And then that's why I give him credit, because he actually excelled at a position that he never played before in college, and actually had a couple of Pro Bowls on that before they started handing them Pro Bowls out as trophies. So you can't tell me nothing about that guy, bro. I scouted the piss out of Pete. Yeah, his footwork wasn't the best, man, but he was a solid player. You can't put him up there with Davenport, KT. You can't do it. You can't put him up there with Davenport and Peyton Turner and who you put up there, Stephon Anthony, and what was the other guy that you put up there? You can't put that man up there. That man played many games and he got Pro Bowls. He excelled at the position. He was actually a decent player when he was healthy. You can't put him up there with no Davenport, bro. Come on, man. He had him number one.
Stop the cap.
Had the damn man up there number one on there. I'll say, hold on, KT. Hold on, straight out the bat. He had the man up there number one. Like, hold on, bro. What you talking about? So you could have at least slipped the name in further to the back of the list, but to put him up top, and you got him there, and you got Davenport there, and then what? No, of course not. Come on, brother. It's just that you can't change KT mind. He hates Andrus Peat. KT hates Andrus Peat. That's what it comes down to. You can't change his mind, regardless of what I said, that Davenport, Peyton Turner, Stephon Anthony, and whoever else you put up there, they don't have no Pro Bowls. They ain't playing many games as that man. He was a starter and have an impact. He had an impact. You can't put Andrus Peat up there, man. That's just hate. Now, KT, you hating now, brother. You done crossed the line, brother. You hating on that man, brother. Stop it, bro. Stop hating on Andrus Peat. He ain't on the damn team no more. He just hating on Andrus Peat now, bro. You done crossed the line, man. That's right, King Chosen one. Tell him. He said Pete was nice, man. Come on, bro. Come on. See, look, here it is right here. It says Q, Andrus Peat and Chase Young are always going to be on. See, there he is on his shit list. There it is. See, you don't make, see, it's just, you hating, KT. You hating. You said that Chase Young was that he wasn't going to work. He was going to get hurt. You said that last year, you said when they was trying to sign Chase Young, like, Q, it ain't going to work. He got an injury history of this type of stuff. What that man did, he knew he came in here playing on a 1-year prove-it deal. The one thing he needed to do is show up and show out. He did. Hey, what was he? He had 3 or 4 sacks last year. And he actually went out there. He played decently and he stayed healthy and he was able to get the job. Come on, KT. I just don't understand, bro. All right, anyway, man, let's get out of here. The last talking point, man, we're going to talk about it. KT hating, man. Why you hating, KT? Stop that hating, man. All right, anyway, man. Y'all hear this, man? Desi, you hear him hating on that, man? You hear that? Chill out, says Byron, man. Richard, what's up? Richard said Young had a good year. He was one of the top pressure guys. KT was slamming that man. He was saying, man, we don't need that dude here, Q. That dude, all he do is get hurt. And I say, KT, we got to let the man prove to see what he can do. Now, granted, it started off kind of shaky because when they signed, when he left Carolina, I said, hold on. There's a problem because Carolina needed the pass rush. They got rid of Burns to the Giants. So they was trying to get a pass rusher there. And Chase Young made sense. But when he went there and then left, and then they signed 2 pass rushers, which was DJ Wonnum and somebody else, I forgot. They signed, was it Corey Wooten? It was Wooten and Corey Wooten and DJ Wonnum. I want to say that they signed when Chase Young left. And when he came to New Orleans and the Saints signed, I'm like, that's interesting. Why did Carolina let him go? And they was a team that needed him. And then when the Saints signed him, people was like, man, we got Chase Young. And then the next day or the day after that, Chase Young needed to have surgery. So it started off funny like that, but it had a good ending. He didn't get hurt for the rest of the season. He played the entire season. He stuck to it, and the Saints rewarded him with a multi-year deal. So, I mean, you can't be mad at that, KT. All right, anyway. Yeah, he got 5 sacks. Thank you, Black Preacher, man. Appreciate it. I'm sorry, y'all. KT got me laughing at this hate he got going on today, bro. It's a Sunday, KT. Stop hating, brother. It's 9-8 day. It's a Sunday, brother. What's up, Marcos? Shout out to you, man. All right, Jack says Andrews Pete was old after the first year we drafted him. All right, come on, Jack. Don't get infected by the hatred that KT is spewing out in the chat, brother. Don't do it.